Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. This Friday morning video going to be a preview of tomorrow afternoon's Scottish Cup final between Aberdeen and Celtic at Hampden Park. 3 o'clock kickoff, and the game will be live for free on BBC One Scotland. It's also on BBC iPlayer, and it's also live on Premier Sports, but of course that is a subscription channel, although apparently you can subscribe to Premier Sports tomorrow prior to their coverage starting at 2 o'clock. And Celtic one step away from treble number 9, which is a quite incredible thought, given the fact that Celtic went so many years without any trebles. And over the last couple of decades, Celtic seem to be winning doubles and trebles every single season. So in this video, we're going to have a wee look at the predicted lineup, a wee look at the predicted score from my own point of view, plus some stats of Aberdeen against Celtic games, plus focusing in a wee bit on Aberdeen against Celtic in the Scottish Cup, and in particular also Aberdeen against Celtic in the Scottish Cup final, of which there has been 7 previous Celtic-Aberdeen Scottish Cup finals. In his press conference, Brendan Rodgers was indicating that Celtic in essence will have a full squad apart from those couple of long-term injuries, and that would imply that players such as Kuhn, Carter-Vickers, Johnston, Maeda, all of whom have had a few injury niggles just recently, will all be fit, and so only first choice players Jota and Hatate are going to be missing from Celtic's squad for tomorrow. Looks like Kasper Schmeichel is fully fit and ready to take his place in tomorrow's team, and so my prediction for Celtic's lineup against Aberdeen tomorrow in the cup final is Kasper Schmeichel in goals, back four of Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Liam Scales and Greg Taylor. Personally, I would go for Austin Trusty in place of Liam Scales. Liam Scales doesn't tend to do terribly well against big, strong centre forwards. Often gets out-muscled and outpaced by other teams' attackers. And I also have a worry about Scales' ability passing under pressure. And for me, Trusty is a better defender, better at passing, calmer under pressure. And if he is beaten by anybody, he does have much better recovery pace than Liam Scales. However, Rodgers has a particular favouritism for Scales, and so I think it will be Scales, not Trusty, at left centre-back. In midfield, I think we're going to go for Callum McGregor, Paulo Bernardo and Arne Engels. Personally, I think I would go for Luke McCowan instead of Paulo Bernardo, simply because Luke McCowan has, in the last few games, when he and Bernardo have been playing, Luke McCowan has been the more impressive, and I think McCowan gives us that wee bit more creativity, wee bit more all-around game. But I think Paulo Bernardo is the player in possession of the position. Brendan Rodgers really does trust Paulo Bernardo, and has played him pretty much whenever Bernardo has been fit. He's been in the team or on the bench and coming on as a sub with around about 20 minutes, half an hour to go. Out wide on the right, Nicholas Kuhn. Out wide on the left, Dyson Maeda, and through the middle, Adam Ida. There is obviously a wee bit of a desire to start James Forrest because he was so good coming on against St Mirren last time. I wouldn't be averse to Forrest starting in place of Kuhn on the right. Other option, of course, would be starting Forrest on the left, Kuhn on the right, and playing Dyson Maeda through the middle. I think all those options are fine, but I think personally Rodgers will go for Kuhn, Ida, and Maida at his front three. In terms of a predicted score, I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for Celtic. I think Celtic get off to a nice quick start, get on the front foot, put Aberdeen under lots of pressure, as we have done in 3 of the last 4 games against them. I think Celtic are going to win quite comfortably. Looking at the stats of Celtic against Aberdeen, we've now played Aberdeen 127 times with 100 wins for Celtic, 15 draws and 12 defeats. And the last time Aberdeen beat us was in May 2018, the last game of the season in the league at that time. And Celtic have a pretty incredible 27 wins, 3 draws in the last 30 games against Aberdeen. And I feel that's very much going to carry on tomorrow afternoon. In the Cups, Celtic don't have quite such a good record against Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup, with 18 wins for Celtic, 9 wins for Aberdeen, and 7 draws. And actually, in cup finals, Scottish Cup finals between Celtic and Aberdeen, Celtic have 4 wins out the 7, Aberdeen 3 wins out the 7, and that does include the win for Aberdeen on penalties in 1991. However, I don't see tomorrow's game going to extra time and penalties. I think Celtic will win comfortably in normal time, and around 5 o'clock Saturday late afternoon, Celtic will be lifting the cup and adding yet another treble to the trophy case. Interesting also coming out of Brendan Rodgers' press conference was that he was indicating that there still is a possibility that Greg Taylor may sign a new contract for Celtic. It would appear that there is a contract on the table, there are still negotiations, and Rodgers has been over the week trying to convince Greg Taylor that there is still a place very much in the squad for Celtic next season, even with Kieran Tierney coming back. I think Celtic are certainly going to need a good quality left back one way or another as backup to Kieran Tierney, as he is a wee bit injury prone recently. And so if Taylor doesn't sign, I think Celtic certainly need to look at a good experienced left back and maybe also signing a good young promising left back to bring through over the next year or two. I think the chances of Jeffrey Schlupp coming back to Celtic next season are diminishing a wee bit, and I think, with all honesty, I would expect that Greg Taylor will be playing for somebody else next season, but if he does come back, I would be very happy to see him back in Celtic colours for the next 2 or 3 years. Quite a lot of speculation regarding a potential bid for Arnie Engels from Atalanta in Serie A. The inside gossip is that Celtic are not going to sell Arnie Engels at any price at this point, with him only having signed last season for Celtic. I don't see Celtic needing to sell him or looking to sell him this early, and I would expect Engels is going to be at Celtic for another couple or more seasons. Celtic remain interested in quite a few different players. However, at this point, there is nothing definite and there are no strong rumours at this point, although names such as Lennon Miller, David Strelic, Matthias Kiesgarden, Kalidou Sidibe, and Veliko Milosevic all do remain potential signings, as does Tyrese Dolan. I certainly see over the course of the summer quite a few players leaving Celtic, quite a few players coming into Celtic, and hopefully by the end of the transfer window in late August, our squad will be even stronger. We do have a number of players coming back off of loan, players such as Gustav Lagerbielka, Luis Palma, Marco Tilio, Kwon, and Stephen Welsh. All of them have done well or very well. but there is some uncertainty as to whether the clubs that they were loaned to are going to make them permanent signings. And so there may be scope for players such as Marco Tilio or Luis Palma to deputise for Jota over the next 6 months. Similarly, it may be that Gustav Belka, having had such a good season in Dutch football, might move into the number 3 or 4 spot in the Celtic centre-back pairings. So I will do my best over the next few weeks and months to keep you up to date regarding all the potential ins and outs of players coming and going from Celtic, and obviously updating on the situation with Greg Taylor. And I would fully expect within a day or two of the cup final tomorrow that the Greg Taylor situation should be resolved. And similarly, also some further information as to whether Jeffrey Schlupp's loan with Celtic is going to get turned into a couple of years of a contract, or whether he's going to be back playing in England. And indeed, Leicester City, where he's played previously, are thought keen to sign him now that they are back in the English Championship. So that just about finishes things off for this Friday early afternoon video preview of the Scottish Cup final tomorrow afternoon. My plan is to do a post-match review of the cup final, probably early on Sunday morning, and then do videos every couple of days or so thereafter, keeping things up to date with news, transfers, loans, and speculation and gossip regarding those. So, just as we finish, we polite suggestion, encouragement for those not yet subscribed to the channel, please do click that subscriber button, keep the numbers going up more and more through the 1200s, and do pop your own thoughts into the comment section regarding the lineup, score prediction, etc. And so, until the next video, goodbye. Good luck, Celtic, in winning the cup final tomorrow afternoon, and hail, hail.